I was a good kid. Not so much to the point where you'd be correct in calling me a goody two-shoes, but if there was a rule, and I didn't have a good enough reason to break it, I would absolutely follow it, like being nice to your teachers and classmates. It seems like common sense, but it's that very common sense that we're taught at a young age from places like school to better fit into society. So, could someone please tell me how putting my hood down is going to make me a better person for my community? I almost guarantee that no one will care if I walk in a public place with my hood up. Granted, I wasn't one of those kids that defied this arbitrary rule, but I can empathize with the people that still do, despite being told numerous times to stop. Some people like to defy authority because it makes them seem more powerful. Maybe they're having a bad day at home, or someone just wants to get comfy in a hoodie on a cool day. Who's to say? But I'd like to talk about one major rule that was added while I was still in school, and not however long it's been since all the hoodie hoopla. In the olden year of 2023, students all over the US became consumed by the phones they used and loved oh so much. The solution, according to 30 states and a bunch of smart people, was to just ban the phones. This surely won't blow up in anyone's face. And to their credit, it's not like it caused any major problem, but it didn't fix anything either. The goal of this nationwide rule was to dim down the amount of time a teen would spend on social media, thus improving the mental health of children all over the world. At least, that's how they envisioned it. In reality, this just made a lot of people upset, and everyone just kept using their phones in secret anyway. Someone could easily go on their phones after school and ruin themselves that way. It's just a flawed design. And it wasn't just the phones either. It was actually a ban on all electronics not issued by the school, which makes the whole thing even more flawed than I thought. There were countless occasions where I'd be sitting around with literally nothing to work on, so as any good student would do, I'd start playing video games on my non-destructive electronic device. And as any good teacher would do, they completely ignored my blatant rejection of rules because they knew how much of a hard worker I am. But in study hall, the one class where you'd expect someone to have the most free time is the period I get in trouble. It really wasn't anything too serious. They just took my stuff away for the day. But allow me to show you in this next scene here what happens to someone when they don't have anything to work on in a study hall. I really just spent the rest of that year with my head down trying to make this teacher feel bad for me, which obviously never worked, and now that I've graduated from that school, I've learned that I would end up no differently today if that rule never existed. Here's a thought for all you big shots that are probably not watching this video. If you want to improve the lives and concentration of students around the world, then you should focus more effort on helping a student's mental health by making sure they have correct living arrangements and support from loved ones. Your problems don't suddenly disappear if you take away aspects of a person's life. I'm running out of breath here because this is so serious. This is the biggest issue I've ever had with school as a whole. They always punish people for doing something wrong, which is obviously important, but it's equally as important to make sure that people get rewarded for simply doing the right thing. If I get chewed out for speaking out of turn in class, then I should be rewarded for not doing that. Otherwise, I just won't have the motivation to be a good person, which is exactly why I believe rules to exist. I don't really have an ending to this story. I just wanted to rant about school rules for a bit. So with that, I hope you've learned something from this video, and I hope you have a great day.